What's up, y'all? Welcome to this video. And in this video, I'm going to be reviewing and talking about Terminator Dark Fate, the latest Terminator sequel that's trying to be a reboot and start over of the series. Now, when talking about this movie, I wish I can compare it to the sequels after Terminator 2, which aren't well regarded. The problem is I have not seen all of those sequels, which aren't well regarded. Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, I've just never seen. I just heard that it just wasn't up to par with Terminator 1 and 2, so I just never really had much interest in seeing it. I did see Terminator Salvation in theaters back when it came out 10 years ago. I didn't think it was terrible. I thought it was a decent little action film, had some good stuff going for it, decent action stuff going for it, but it definitely wasn't a very memorable movie, and I can understand why people don't really care for it all that much. And then Terminator Genesis, it just got such bad reviews. People just didn't have very good regard for it. So I was just all like, just didn't have much interest in seeing that either. But now when it comes to Terminator Dark Fate, I thought this movie looked good enough. And obviously this movie in the marketing, they're really touting on the fact that James Cameron is back. It says producer James Cameron returns. And I've never seen any sort of producer label like that. And he has his new director, Tim Miller, the director of Deadpool, coming. And he's shown that he's a good director. Obviously, Deadpool is a very different film from Terminator. But he's shown that he's a director with talent. And the movie overall did look pretty good. So from what I've seen, I was all like, okay, let's go in and see what's going on and if this movie's actually worth watching. Now, from what I've seen, this movie, what it's getting criticized a lot for is being sort of a rehash of Terminator 1 and 2. Obviously, those are the two Terminator films that are the most memorable ones, the ones that are obviously by far the ones that are regarded as like the classics, not just of the series, but just of cinema of all time. And from what's being heard right now, it's being sort of compared to what I would compare it to is it is the Force Awakens of the Terminator series, specifically of Terminator 1 and 2, having just seen it for myself. The setup of the movie is essentially a combination between Terminator 1 and 2. You have a new character, a girl named Danny. She's being chased by sort of this liquid Terminator. And you have a good Terminator that's come from the future to sort of save her. So there's a whole chase. So it's a whole chase from that Terminator. They run into Sarah Connor. And then it's just sort of a movie's essentially sort of a big sort of road chase to keep Danny safe. So yeah, essentially it combines the plot of Terminator 1, the setup of Terminator 1, and the villain of Terminator 2, and sort of in order to create sort of the plot for Terminator Dark Fate going on right here. The movie is essentially taking sort of the best and sort of most memorable plot points and moments of Terminator 1 and 2 and bringing it just into this day and age that we're living in right now, just trying to sell a new product. And while you can definitely look at a lot of the bad aspects of being a rehash, and no doubt sort of doing that whole sort of rehash thing is lazy, there's a whole lot of positive aspects as well, just because it gives you sort of a solid sort of story foundation to build off of. All you have to do after that is make sure that you got good elements around the movie. And this movie definitely has a whole lot of good elements going around it. For one, the cast is definitely great. The main attraction here is seeing Linda Hamilton return from Terminator 1 and 2. And she's great. She's still got that same spirit of Sarah Connor that we saw in Terminator 2. In Terminator 2, she just had a big sort of character change from Terminator 1. And sort of that character from Terminator 2 comes back in this one. And she's just great. She's really great and fun to watch in this one. And so was Arnold. He was actually in this movie a whole lot more than I thought he was. Because he hasn't been in the trailers a whole lot. But in this movie, he has a decent amount of time. So it's like, oh man, Arnold still got it. And he definitely has a whole lot of funny moments. I mean, this is definitely his greatest role right here. And he's definitely great seeing back as the original Terminator. But then the new cast is great also. The girl who plays Danny, sort of the main girl that everyone's trying to protect in this movie, she was really good. I thought it was Isabella Moner because it looks exactly like her, but apparently it's not. It's an actress I've never seen before. But regardless, she was really good. I enjoyed her in this movie. She has the same kind of like Sarah Connor role that we saw in Terminator 1. And the newcomers playing the two main Terminators or robots that we see are really good. The new character of Grace, she was pretty good. I know people were complaining on the fact like, what do we got a girl Terminator going? But as a character, there's definitely nothing wrong with her. It's definitely not sort of an overpowering feminist message this movie's trying to go for. So don't be afraid when it comes to that aspect. But she's a good character. She's got some interesting stuff going for her. I wish they could have given her more character development. But overall, she was fun enough to watch. And I thought the actress did a good job. And the character and the new Terminator that we've got in this movie, that's being sort of that new liquid Terminator for Terminator 2, was really good, man. He's just such a great villain. It's the same thing going for that Terminator 2 had, which is just that relentless villain that you just cannot escape from. It's always got to find you, and you've just got to do your best to just put this thing down. Otherwise, you will never be safe. And just sort of the powers it has, it's got sort of a new power going for it, where it's got a sort of a metal Terminator base, but it can still morph out of that and do sort of that liquid forming stuff that the T-1000 did in Terminator 2. So overall, it was a great villain and just made the movie really intense, and that stuff was great. Tim Miller, the director, he's just got a great eye for action. The opening action scene between the two Terminators is fantastic. It was just a great, like, holy crap. I turned to my dad and I'm like, this is some great action right here. And of course, all the action that follows after that is really good. And all of it was pretty intense and pretty damn well done, in my opinion. The main negative thing I think I have to say about this movie is that besides the whole rehash aspect, the movie did end up feeling pretty repetitive. And I'm not talking about being repetitive in terms of following stuff from Terminator 1 and 2. I'm talking about the movie felt repetitive in itself. Just the fact that the movie follows sort of the same pattern of this new Terminator finding the group. They have to run away, a quick battle, go away. Then it follows again. The Terminator finds them, quick battle, gets kind of intense, go away, on and on and on and on. It's all like, oh man, it's like, it's just going to keep on doing this. Even though the battles are well done, you still stop to think like, wow, this is just going on just a little bit much. Even though you still are enjoying the stuff that's going on, the movie unfortunately did feel kind of repetitive in that aspect, unfortunately. But in my opinion, this movie had enough great action, some great visuals, and solid character stuff to where I really enjoyed it, man. Unfortunately, I can't compare it to those sequels after Terminator 1 and 2. But maybe if had I seen those sequels, I would have liked this movie even more. But just as it is right now, I really enjoyed it. Just comparing it to the Terminator movies that I've seen before, I thought it was a pretty good companion piece to Terminator 1 and 2, and I just had a pretty damn fun time with this movie. So I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. I had a lot of fun with this movie right here. The door is definitely open for sequels. It'll depend on how this movie does. Judging by how full my theater was on the Friday night that I've seen it tonight, I don't know. It's going to be set of tough. Movies have just been bombing left and right this year. So you never know, but I hope this one does well, just because me personally, I quite enjoyed this movie. So I would definitely be up to see a sequel, even though no movie ever needs a sequel. The way this movie ends up, I'm all like, I wouldn't mind seeing them sort of continue if they really wanted to. Although it is one of those kind of endings where they don't need a sequel. There's just a door open for a sequel if they want to do one. But enough rambling. That's it for this video review. I hope y'all enjoyed, and thank you for watching.